What's up guys, Jeremy the Machine Scott here, and today we're going to talk about body fat percentage. How much body fat do you actually have versus how much body fat do you think you have? I'm going to discuss some of the different ways that you can check your body fat percentage and what are some of the best ways that you can tell where your body fat percentage is at, or what's the most effective method of checking your body fat percentage. Over the years I've learned and figured out a lot about body fat percentages and body fat levels and body fat testing, and what is the most effective method of checking your body fat percentage. A lot of times we think we're at a certain body fat percentage, or we assume where our body fat percentage is at, and it's actually a little bit off. So there's certain methods that will tell us that we're at a certain body fat percentage, and it's completely incorrect. There's some people who get something what we call an in-body scan. And with this in-body scan that tells you where your body fat percentage is at, from what I've seen, I've never used the in-body scan myself. I prefer not to, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So with an in-body scan, it tells you where your body fat percentage is at, and sometimes if you look at somebody's physique versus what the in-body scan is telling them that their body fat percentage is at, it actually doesn't match up at all. So it could come up saying somebody has some low body fat percentage, and based off of the progress pictures or based off of the physique pictures, it doesn't match up with what the in-body scan is saying. And I see that happen quite often and quite a bit. So that's definitely, in my opinion, that is not an acceptable method of checking your body fat percentage. So there's a few different scales also that some of my clients use, or that I use. I've tried using it, and when you use these scales, you step on the scale barefoot, and it's connected with an app in your phone. And when you step onto the scale, it tells you where your body fat percentage is at. Now, are these scales effective, and are these scales accurate? I don't agree with the scales. I don't think they're that accurate. I think it uses the same method of testing the body fat. There's another method where you hold the handles and you enter in your weight and your age, and you enter in if you're an athlete or not, and that gives you your body fat percentage as well. So that method and the scale that you step on barefoot, I don't think that those are very accurate myself either. So those actually give a reading that's pretty high, and you're visibly low in single digit body fat. You can look in the mirror and see your stomach. The skin on top of your stomach is nice and thin, and you can see visible abs, and those methods will give you a higher reading. You're clearly in single digit body fat, but those methods are gonna come up saying you're a little bit higher. So we're gonna do a test today, and we're gonna do a difference between the scale that's connected with the app on my phone, and we're gonna see what reading that gives me, versus the caliper method, and we're going to see which reading that gives me, and we're going to see the difference. I know that most of the methods can be off within a few percentages, give or take. You know, a lot of the methods can be off within 2 to 3 percentages. There's a little bit of room to play with, give or take, but different methods can give you pretty big differences of readings across the board. We're first going to start with the scale, okay? So I'm going to remove my shoes. We're gonna go barefoot on the scale. We're going to get the socks off as well. So my body fat should be pretty low right now. I actually haven't checked it in a while. I actually very, very rarely check my body fat, because in my opinion, if you're putting in the work and you're doing what you're supposed to do, if you're having self-discipline, doing your cardio, eating right, getting all your workouts in, getting your rest, your body fat's gonna be at a good level, and the mirror tells you everything. Above the calipers, above the DEXA scan, above the submersion in the water method, all these different methods, the most important question is, are you putting in the work? Are you making the sacrifices? Are you doing the right actions? Are you doing what you need to do? If you're not, if you're slacking, if you're eating junk food, if you're drinking too much alcohol, if you're not getting rest, if you're skipping your cardio, then stop checking to see if your body fat's going down. because your body fat is going to either stay where it is if your actions are not changing, or if your actions are getting worse, your body fat's going to continue to go up, and you're not going to have abs, and you're not going to be shredded, you're not going to have nice muscle definition, you're not going to be where you want to be. Hopefully you have enough willpower and determination and self-discipline to change those actions so you can get away from an unhealthy body fat percentage, because as we know, high body fat levels and obesity are associated with many different health risk factors like high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, different kinds of cancers. So you want to keep your body fat down low and stay healthy and stay strong. We're going to get on the scale. So this is a scale. It is made by Arbelief, and the maximum weight on the scale is 396 pounds. This is a body composition scale. So this one is supposed to tell you what your body composition is. Body composition is basically if you weigh 200 pounds, what percentage of that 200 pounds is lean mass and what percentage of that 200 pounds is actual body fat. So we're gonna turn on the phone here. Based off of, according to Arbelief, I had dropped 10 pounds and I had dropped 1% of body fat. In my BMI, I had dropped 1.5. Okay, so 193.8, BMI was 27, body fat was 15.3 according to the Arbelief, and fat-free body weight is 164, subcutaneous fat 12%, visceral fat 9%, body water 61%, skeletal muscle 54%, muscle mass 155 pounds, bone mass 8 pounds, protein 19%, BMR 1900 calories. Highest weight was 204 in August of 2021. Highest weight was 204 and my lowest weight was 193.8. was October. All right, so we're going to step on the Arbelief. It says go ahead and press on it until it says 0. The phone says measuring. Please do not get off the scale. So negative 12. So we've dropped 12 pounds since August 28th. 12 pounds and body fat 15.1, sub-Q fat 12%, visceral fat 9. So this is one method that we use, okay? So this is, in my opinion, these methods are not the best way of checking your body fat percentage. I'm not a big fan of these methods. And like I said, I will tell you why in just a few moments here. So next method, this is one of my preferred methods, which is the Caliper Test. I like the Caliper Test, but there's a little bit of an issue with the Caliper Test. They put you in a certain age category and they assume that you have more body fat based off of your age categories. They assume that you have different body fat percentages in different areas of your body that are not being pinched based off of what age you are. So we're gonna use the test. Normally I use the Durnin and Womersley formula, which checks the bicep, tricep, right here above the iliac crest, and right here just underneath the scapula. So we take how many millimeters of fat is in all of those places and we add it up. We take that final number and we put it here on the chart, and that's where your body fat percentage is. We're gonna go chest, abdomen, and thigh. The Jackson-Pollock data is generally considered to be a little bit more accurate. So they're saying men below about 12% body fat and women below 15% body fat may prefer to use the Jackson-Pollock data. So for men, we've got chest, it's a diagonal pinch, and we've got abdomen, a vertical pinch right on the abdomen, showing a little bit higher, and right on the front of the thigh, on the front of the quadricep. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the chest. So we're gonna go here. 6, we've got abdomen, right side abdomen. And we've got 6, so that's 12. And that's our right thigh. So that's 4 on the front of the thigh, so that's 16 total. So now we're gonna go over here to the chart. We are at 4%. So we've got 4%, and the other method has me at 15%. So be very, very, very careful on what methods that you're using to measure your body fat. What is the best way to tell if your body fat's changing, and what is the best way to check your body fat percentage? Take a progress picture. Line the progress picture up side by side. If you don't see progress, or if you're not lean enough, or if you're not where you need to be, then your body fat's not low enough. Bottom line. That means you need to do more cardio. That means that you need to lift weights more frequently. That means that you need to meal prep more. That means you need to be more disciplined. And that means you need to eat less calories and pay attention to what you're eating. Okay? You can log your food, and you can weigh your food out, and you can measure your portions. And if that's not working, slowly start to decrease your portions until your weight starts to drop and your body fat starts to come down, and you start to see the changes that you're looking for. Progress pics are number 1. Progress pics are more important than caliper testing. Progress pics are more important than a DEXA scan. Progress pics are more important than an in-body scan. A progress pic is a tell-all. Whatever these numbers on these calipers are telling you, or whatever these numbers on this app is telling you on the scale and telling you that your body fat percentage is at, okay, these numbers don't mean anything. If you don't see progress, and if your physique and your body is not where you want it to be, then the body fat percentage numbers that you're getting on these apps and on these body scans and on these calipers, those numbers don't mean anything. Like I said, I've been doing this, checking people's body fat for 15 plus years. And based off of what I've seen with these calipers, with the handheld device, with the scale, in-body scans, DEXA scan, these are not accurate. These are not accurate ways of checking your body fat. The most accurate way is by looking at your picture and does your physique match up with what your body fat percentage is saying. These methods are off, okay? There's a lot of errors with these methods. Progress pics is number 1. If your actions are not lining up with your fitness goals, if your goal is to get leaner, if your goal is to lose more body fat, your goal is to lose just weight in general and become healthier, and you're not doing your cardio, you're not setting aside time to meal prep, and you're skipping your workouts, then you're not gonna see progress. Forget checking your body fat percentage. If you're not putting in the work, it's not gonna magically fall off. You can't just go to the store and take some fat burners and take some fat burning supplement and go on a fad diet and think that your body fat is going to start dropping and think that you're going to keep it off long term. Okay, you have to do the right actions, have balance, eat the right amount of protein, carbs, and fat. Extreme methods don't work long term. They work for short term, but they don't work for long term. Another thing that you can look out for on yourself or on your body to tell if your body fat is low, if you want to get your body fat low, or if you're trying to get leaner, if you take your skin and you pinch your skin and it feels thin, and if you have a lot of vascularity and separation and muscular definition, those are more ways to tell if you have low body fat percentage. And there's certain areas based off of your genetics that might get leaner faster than others when you're in this process of trying to lose weight and trying to get your body fat percentage down. Okay, we all have our problem areas. So for me, it's right around the belly button and sometimes on the inner thigh area. Those are the very last places for me to start to get lean when I go on a diet and try to get extra shredded and try to get leaner, or when I get ready for a bodybuilding competition. I start to get lean first in my arms and biceps and forearms. You see, so just because I have vascularity in my arms, or just because my skin is thin in my arms, doesn't necessarily mean that I have low body fat percentage. So I know if I check my problem areas and I pinch the skin and it feels very thin, then I know that I'm getting lean and I know that my hard work is paying off. So for me, it's right here, just under the pec. So a lot of times, if you bring your arm down, you'll see a little bit of if you have a lot of body fat, you'll see the skin start to fold over right here under the pec. When I start to get lean and I notice the skin pulling in underneath the pet, I know that my hard work's paying off and I know I'm getting somewhere. Another area that I check is right here, the love handles, just on the lower back, so you can feel the skin. If it feels thick and you want to get single-digit body fats or you want to get leaner, then that means your body fat is not low enough. And like I said, over all that, more important is progress pics. You can see the problem areas. You can see if you're changing by taking a progress pic and lining it up side by side. That's the #1 way to tell if you're progressing and making progress. More than the scale, more than the calipers, more than the in-body scan, more than the DEXA scan, more than dunking yourself in the water and doing the method where you submerge yourself into water. Another area, most important area, is right here around the belly button. Closest to the belly button, especially for a lot of us men. If you grab the skin around the belly button and the skin feels thick, as you start losing body fat, if you keep grabbing that area, you'll notice that that skin starts to become thinner. That's the body fat going away. And if you check the inner thigh, especially around here, around the knee areas, and you see the skin start to get thin and you see veins starting to pop out of your quads and you see separation in the leg muscles, a lot of us men tend to hold body fat in the legs as well. I know for me that's one of my problem areas. So if my body fat's low, I see a lot of muscle definition and separation in the thighs, a lot of separation in the split going down between the hamstrings and the quads. So these are some of the signs and some of the ways that you can tell if you're making progress, if your goal is to get lean, if you're getting leaner. You want to see some definition between your shoulder and your bicep and tricep. And when you take photos of your back, you should see your traps and your rear delts. So you should see some lines and separations. These are the best ways to tell if your body fat is going down. Once again, not from calipers, not from the scale, not from the app, not from the handheld device, not from the in-body scan, not from the DEXA scan, not from the water. These are not the best ways to tell. So forget all those, take progress pics, put in the work, and watch your body fat percentage go down. So you got to keep that in mind and pay attention to your approach to getting healthier and your approach to losing weight or losing body fat or whatever it is, even if it's gaining muscle. Pay attention to your approach and take your time and do it slowly. There is no quick fixes and there are no shortcuts, and you know that. Let's make sure we stay focused and let's make sure that our actions are lining up with our fitness goals. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below. Jeremy Scott, out.